I'm just making sure that everything is good. Making sure the video's good, making sure the feed is good before we get started. Oh my goodness. It cleared out my sinuses, but at the same time, that hurt so much for it to, you know, get out of there. But hey, Nero Mastiff, Kitty Bree, and Karma. Now, Karma, since you're one of my moderators now, I'm gonna go full screen with this reaction because the last time we had that guy pop in, thankfully I had it full screen, so I couldn't tell what was going on. So you just keep the peace while I read through this chapter, and then we'll talk about it once I'm done. I'm just double checking, making sure I'm not dropping any frames because I would hate for that to happen. I also updated OBS as well. You know, I've been using an outdated version of OBS to do my streaming and videos with for you guys. I've been using the 21.1 version, and there's a 26.0.1 version that I never knew of. So, yeah, I kind of put myself in that situation. But let's go ahead and get to this chapter. Let me go ahead and do the formalities. Yo, peoples, Kyushu92 here to bring you yet another reaction to My Hero Academia. What a last chapter that last one was. Now, one thing I noticed is that some people were saying that it was too soon for, well, if you didn't know, Mirio is back, and he has his quirk. Now, some people have been saying that maybe it's a bit too soon for Mirio to be back. This was a shock to me, so I can't lump myself in with those people. But let's go ahead and see what happens in chapter 293. We are 7 chapters away from 300 chapters of My Hero Academia, whereas we are 3 chapters away from 1,000 chapters of One Piece. Now, we don't have a One Piece chapter out today. We're getting one next week. But overall, it's been a good year for My Hero Academia and One Piece as well. Also solo leveling. So, let's go and get to this new chapter. And we got a fully colored cover page where pretty much everyone who's in this battle right now, they all have on like steampunk gear. You got Kirishima, you got Aizawa, Ida, Shoto, Midoriya, Bakugo, Hawks, what looks to be Toya, Shigaraki, and Endeavor, and they're all in full-on steampunk. Interesting. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to this chapter. Chapter 293, Heroes Saturated Society. And we have an image of Eri, and we have Mirio in his Lemillion getup. You're here? Lemillion? But how? We got word from the villa about what's happening, so I rushed over using my special permeation mode of travel. You see, the villain hideout that the Night Eye Agency is keeping tabs on isn't far away from here. I've only been on sabbatical for half a year, not long enough to trigger any nostalgia just yet. Bubble Girl was nice enough to tell me about the multi-pronged battle plan going on tomorrow. And I want to help out. And everyone else is... And this is a flashback. And, everyone's surprised that Mirio wants to help out. I know you've been practicing on bugs and lizards these past 2 months using small amounts of energy. I've seen the progress you're making. So, it actually shows us that Eri has been training to hone her power. Because it shows a flashback here where a lizard's tail would come off and she would use her quirk on it and it would cause that tail to come right back. She's been using small amounts of energy. She's been practicing on bugs and lizards the past 2 months. The past 2 months, Eri has been trained to use her power even more. So please, Eri, I'm sorry for using you like this, but won't you try out your rewind power on me? And then Eri looks at Aizawa. And Aizawa's all like, go ahead. And then Eri puts her hands on Mirio's face and says, don't be sorry. This is why I'm training. Yo! Thank you. So it was Aries' rewind power that gave Mirio his quirk back. It wasn't like some reverse engineered antidote from the quirk erasing rounds that I thought. It was Eri. She's been training the past 2 months, and she used her power. And she used her power to give Mirio his power back. Thank you, Eri. And then one of the Nomu that he punched is back up, and it shoots something at him. Still, even my power ain't enough to take down these Nomu with one punch, so... And the shots that the Nomu fires at him just go straight through him because, permeation. And Mirio's in the air, and he says, "Someone save me!" Wait, what? Someone save me? And then there's a glint in the air. The explosions from that time were like nothing I've ever done, all condensed faster and stronger than ever. Wait, is this Bakugo? The explosions from that time were like nothing I ever done, all condensed faster, stronger too. I've never felt that sensation, like being on death's door in total crisis. It's Bakugo. He's literally still bleeding. He's still sweating blood. He's bloodied and bruised. Bleeding from the mouth. And then there's just like a multiple stints of explosions, and it even shows the Nomu literally prepared to grab on to Best Jeanist. And in an instant, Ida, Bakugo, and Nejire all come in and just go ham on all of the... They can just go ham on all the Nomu. Gotta save. And then Ida says, "Bakugo, I can't take my eyes off of you for even a second. You mustn't push yourself. It could be fatal." Nejire, you okay? Feeling just peachy now that you're here, Togata. Weird, huh? So, Bakugo, Ida comes in, and then Nejire come in, and they save both Mirio and Best Jeanist from the Nomu. Well, have you experienced the world, Bakugo? That name was temporary. I held off on the big reveal until you heard it. That name was temporary. I held off on the big reveal until you could hear it. Oh, wait. I held off on the big reveal until you could hear it. Your alias represents your desires, but you are still naive to the ways of the world. I guess Wait, are we gonna find out what Bakugo's hero name is? Have we not known what it was this entire time? Your alias represents your desires, but you are still naive to the ways of the world. Once you've earned your provisional license in your 2nd year, return to me, and on that day, tell me your chosen name. Starting today, I'm... Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite! Even though Midnight just told him that Explosion Murder was not a suitable name, he comes back with an even bigger mouthful. Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. And then Best Jeanist is looking like, how childish. Ida says, what a mouthful. Nejire says, disturbing. Compress says, tacky. Spinner says, super tacky. And then Mirio just laughs at it. A fine hero name with a real sense of humor to it. Ain't nothing funny about it. And then Bakugo just hits the ground. A world without smiles and humor has no bright future. No offense intended, buddy. That's just my motto. Anywho, looks like their boss is going nowhere fast. So what do you say we wrap this up? So the Nomu are facing off against, like, Ida, Nejire, and Bakugo. and, you know, Mirio, while they're still trying to hold down Makia, who's still struggling to get loose. Because remember, he gave the order to destroy everything. And, oh, I almost forgot that Dabi and Shoto were fighting as well. Ah, your friends are having a blast down there. Poor Shoto. No fun for you, just pain. But you're burning up too. Seriously, it's great that you were raised with love. I'm fine because I'm real happy right now. 'Cause look at that face. And he looks back on Endeavor, who hasn't done anything. He's just been watching as his once fought dead son is back and trying to kill Shoto. So Endeavor can't do anything. The guy's about to watch his puppet masterpiece burn up and die in the fire of his failed experiment, and he can't do anything. Ugh. I said, look, he's totally broken inside. Shoto, once my fire burns you to ash, I wonder what kind of face that'll make. He's just full crazy. Then, all of a sudden, he gets hit with something black. Wait, is that Midoriya? It is Midoriya. He's shooting some. Is that Black Whip? Is he shooting Black Whip out of his mouth? The others are backing up Genis, so I got you, Todoroki. Who cares if my arms and legs are done? And then there's a flashback with him training with everyone, you know, leading up to him using Float the first time. Froppy style! Wow, so he's using Black Whip in a way that Asui would use her tongue. And he's using that to get around. But then Dabi just explodes in fire, saying, "This is a family affair, none of your business!" It is my business, cause Todoroki's my friend, and Endeavor's my mentor who's made me stronger. Sure, the past never dies, and that's why I'm watching Endeavor real hard as he tries to be better. And guess what? You aren't Endeavor! Way to state the obvious, but still, you gotta pity me, right? That agent of justice did some vile stuff, and I'm the result. Evil is thriving. Justice is losing this war. All I'm doing is showing you sentimental dopes who's to blame for that. The future coming down the pipeline is one where all that schmaltz and lip service is gonna get blown away by the chaos. And as he says this, Makia bursts out from the thread that Genis was trying to hold together. Yikes! He's back up? And who's this shooting right upwards to Makia? Who is that? That's Endeavor! Yo! Endeavor's shooting up straight to Makia! And then Makia says, power suddenly all gone. Makia? No strength. That reminds me, the message I got from the gang at the villa. They said their strategy. Wow, I messed that up so horribly. I had like a little kid's moment. We gotta use strategy. They said their strategy had no effect, but look. The sedative must have worked. Indeed, someone out there weave this thread of hope. Yo! Kirishima! Hado! And even Yaoyorozu! They're okay! Nice! So, I guess the sedative was still in his system, but with his monstrous his monstrous stamina, it was just keeping it at bay, but it didn't just destroy it as soon as it entered his body. It had to take a little longer for it to take effect, because even after Makia started to break out of the bindings that Best Jeanist put him in, yeah, Makia is now down. He stood up, started to break out of the bindings, but now the sedative has started to work on him. while we and it says next chapter hits December 13th. While we see Ashido Yajirozu. Why did I call her Hado? Why did I call her Hado? Why did I call her Hado? It's Ashido, not Hado. Nejide's name is Hado. Sorry. I got mixed up for a second there. But it shows that Kirishima and Ashido and Yajirozu, they're all okay. They're scraped up a little bit, but they're fine. But yeah, that's the end of the chapter. Okay, let me go ahead and get out of this full screen so we can talk just a little bit. Then I gotta go ahead and get started on the newest One Piece episode. But overall, quite a nice chapter, I'm not gonna lie. Is this the first time? Okay, let me see what you guys are saying. Hitachi Uchiha Magic Wand. Is this the first time Mirio and Bakugo meet? I don't remember. Wasn't he in the classroom when the big three first introduced themselves? Or was he taking extra courses with like Aizawa back then? So he was separate from the rest of the class. If so, then this might be the official time that, might be the official moment that Mirio and Bakugo actually meet face to face. Because Bakugo wasn't there when Mirio took on the entire Class 1A, minus, Shoto, of course. I don't think Bakugo was there. Actually, no, I think it was because he was on house arrest. Wait, was he on house arrest? Because he fought Midoriya as well, but Bakugo wasn't there. Wait, where was Bakugo when the big three showed up? Bakugo was gone when Mirio first appeared. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. I'm starting to think back, like, when they first introduced themselves and Mirio fought all of Class 1A, Bakugo was not there. And it couldn't have been when he had to take extra courses, because he took down Kirishima and all the rest of them who had to take extra courses with Aizawa, but that was later on. But I don't think Bakugo was there. Huh, so this might be the actual first time that Bakugo and Mirio actually meet face to face. Deku got 3 days and Bakugo got that 4, which means that during that extra day that Bakugo was on house arrest, that was the time that Midoriya and the rest of them met the big three. He hasn't officially met the big three yet, so Bakugo was still on house arrest when everyone met Mirio and Amajiki and the rest of them. So yeah, it's coming back to me now. Midoriya had the shorter sentence while Bakugo still had to remain at home while everyone was fighting the big three. Okay, so I got it now. Okay, but Mirio's there thanks to Eri's training. She's been training for the past 2 months using her powers to reverse things. And now she managed to get Mirio to the point where he has his quirk back. Now this opens up a whole new can of worms. Because I remember back when I did my original My Hero Academia read-throughs, the idea popped up into my head that if Eri is able to rewind a person from not having a quirk to having their quirk again, and at the time, I didn't really put too much thought into it because I didn't understand the specifics of One for All and how it worked. I do understand it now, so my thoughts that I had back then may not sync up as much as it used to. But I originally thought that, hey, if Eri could learn how to reverse things, then maybe she can reverse All Might's body to a point where he doesn't have that scar anymore. That very same scar where he had to get a couple of organs removed and, get rid of the scar in general and get him back to his original state. Now, at the same time, him getting healed, if such a thing was possible on Eri's part, it will also kind of undermine the effort he went to give One for All to someone else. Because think about it, this is a very outlandish theory, so please do not take this seriously in the slightest. I'm just throwing an idea out here. What would happen if Mirio punched someone with his quirk and then stopped using it while his arm is through the body? Well, I would like to think that it would function the same way that Vision's phasing does. Like he can put his hands into something and then and make himself intangible, put his hand into it, and then make it solid, and then it would just, two objects can't occupy the same space at the same time. So something is going to have to give. And if Mirio's body is denser than the body he's actually putting his hand into, chances are that body is going to, well, behave accordingly. If he were to put his hand through someone's chest and his body is denser than that person's body, then there's a chance that he might, leave a hole in them. And that's actually kind of, if you think about it, Mirio can do that, but he just doesn't. Though at the same time, I would like to believe that his quirk makes it so that he can't just leave his body in something. It doesn't function the same way as Nightcrawler's teleportation does, where he has to see where he's going, otherwise he could accidentally wind up inside a wall or anything like that, and then the pressure from being inside of a wall would kill him instantly. It's not, I don't think it's like that, but at the same time, it's an interesting thing to think about, but then it would make Mirio a far more devastating hero if he could do that all the time. It's kind of scary. But the theory I had was, what if Eri used her power to reverse All Might back to his original state before this accident? Now, mind you, she's been working using small amounts of energy. She was able to, repair and rewind insects and lizards, and she even managed to rewind Mirio back to his original state with his quirk. No problem. Now, here's the thing, though. We don't know if there's any drawbacks to this yet. We don't know if this is a permanent thing. If it's a permanent thing, then it makes Eri one of the most powerful quirk users ever. Because think about it. If a person loses their quirk, Eri can just rewind them back to before they lost their quirk, and they have it back. Now, I wonder, can the same thing be done on people who have had their quirks taken, such as Ragdoll? Or is it because it's inside of, Shigaraki, because All For One took it? Does that mean that she's never going to get that back? That's just, like I said, this is just a big, wild, outlandish theory of mine. But Eri's power, if the villains find out that she can rewind things, I wonder if that counts for, severed limbs. Can she rewind Aizawa to the moment before he lost his leg? Could he get his leg back? That's a thought. That's a thought now. Can she rewind Aizawa back to when he had his leg? That's okay. Now, since I think if that happens, it will be a timed thing. Like All Might can only fight for an hour, maybe. But now I'm thinking, now that we've seen that Eri can use her powers to a degree where Mirio gets his quirk back, can it also be used to people who, I don't know, got a limb cut off and rewind them to the moment before they lost that limb? Can that limb become reattached, or will they regrow or something like that? This just opens up a whole new slew of questions. Because Aizawa just lost his leg in order to keep it from, he cut off his own leg to keep it from infecting the rest of his body with a quirk-erasing drug. He's currently unconscious right now. But can Eri reverse Aizawa so that he has his legs again? Just a theory. But we also have Nejire, and we also have Bakugo joining in the fight to keep the Nomus off of Best Jeanist as he's binding Makia. And Makia tries to get up, but he doesn't have any strength because the sedative that the rest of Class 1A got together and Yaoyorozu came up with, it's finally taken effect. So even with Shigaraki telling Makia to use his strength and destroy everything, and Makia got a little bit of a boost, that sedative was a lot more powerful, and now Makia is laying down on the ground, and he really is not in a state right now where he can help his master. So who knows what's going to happen? We still have Shoto versus Toya right now, with Endeavor joining in to try. And it shows Endeavor using his power to launch towards the face of Makia. Hold on, let me make sure I didn't miss anything when I read that panel. Let me make sure I ain't missed nothing, because I saw Endeavor shoot up into the air. I saw Endeavor shoot up into the air, and I'm trying to see if he did anything. Was that, did it, oh, okay. Okay, I think I understand this panel now. I thought Endeavor was just shooting up in the air, but Endeavor shot up into the air and punched Makia in the face, and that's what knocked him off to the side. So that was Endeavor. Endeavor is the one who knocked Makia over. And then the sedative started to take effect during that time, and that's why Makia is not moving. Okay, I get it now. Wow. I would have been dumbfounded if I didn't put these two panels together, because I was wondering, okay, it shows them right here, but there's like an impact detail here, and then Makia's head snapping back real hard. So Endeavor shot past Midoriya while Midoriya was in the air, and then punched Makia in the face. And mind you, Endeavor is shown here coughing up blood, and his eyes are whited out. So that Endeavor was just using the last bit of his strength in order to pull through in that one moment there. Okay, I got it. I understand. So Endeavor's the one who put in the last blow to Makia to knock him back down to the ground again. And Makia can't move because he ain't got no strength. Which, you know, in relevance to what he's been doing all this time, it is, it's something. I didn't even notice Endeavor punching Makia. Yeah, I kind of, because the way it looks here, Endeavor is launching towards Makia. Then there's like an impact. There's like an impact detail right in front of Endeavor, and some short flames that are around that area, and it shows Makia's head snapping back. So I would like to believe that it's Endeavor who just decked Makia in the side of the head and caused him to fall over. So either he punched him, or he used the last of his power to like forcibly jet himself and shove into Makia. Either one of those things, but it was Endeavor who did that. Is the hero name for Bakugo the official name? I honestly don't know. It's a mouthful. I mean, I think the hero name, hold on, let me go back to it. I think the hero name Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite is just a mouthful, and everyone thinks it's silly. Everyone thinks it's tacky and thinks it's stupid, whereas Muriel's like, yeah, it's a fine name with a real sense of humor to it. But I honestly don't know. How do you not notice it? I notice it. I don't remember it being hard to see. Maybe it's because I'm so used to seeing impacts in recent chapters being so full frontal and, you know, very detailed, where you can obviously see it, that I didn't put two and two together for that brief moment where I was seeing Endeavor launching himself towards Makia. I didn't notice that until when I went back to it. So that's sort of that. But I don't know if that's the name that Bakugo is going to stick with, because it's a mouthful. And writing that out on a news feed, or writing that out on a name card or anything, Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. That's a mouthful. He's gonna have to shorten it up. Like what? Great Dynamite, Explosion Dynamite, or God Dynamite? Murder, not so much, because, copyrights, and we gotta look out for the children. But overall, this was an interesting chapter. I'll get a solid 8 out of 10 chapter. I enjoyed it. But we're getting another chapter next week, along with another chapter of One Piece? Yes. God of Destructive Explosions Dynamite, but it's not an official site, so I don't trust it. I'm reading from the Viz site, and what you see here on Viz is what's going to be printed in the volumes. So, Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite. It really is a mouthful, because God of Destructive Explosions Dynamite, that sounds like a full-on title, but you kind of get the idea. But with Bakugo, him calling himself Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite, it kind of fits with him because he's not exactly good at giving, simple names that just one line. He's gotta include every single thing in there. Great Explosion Murder God Dynamite Atomic Ballistic Bomberman! Stuff like that. That's how Bakugo rolls. He doesn't do anything subtly. Given his quirk, it would go against his very character. But I read the unofficial translation, and the site doesn't pull this and don't use black. Don't put this in where Deku used Black Whip from his mouth. That was an interesting little thing that he learned from Asui there. So even with his legs and arms are done currently, but he's using Black Whip from his mouth to get himself around, just to slingshot himself. I think I saw someone, I think his hero's name should be Dynamite, and everything else should be a title, if you get what I mean. Yeah. Dynamite would be awesome, because it's exactly what Bakugo is. He's always a lit fuse just waiting to blow up. All it takes is just that one thing said to him, and then he's all like, "What? What did you say to me? What did you say to me?" Just like that one title, just like that one video from a Ninja where he's screaming at a little kid on Fortnite. "What did you say to me?" Just like that. That's Bakugo. But overall, this was a pretty good chapter. There's not much else I can say about this chapter. You guys know these streams for My Hero Academia tend to not be as long as my One Piece ones. So all I gotta say is I'm anxious to see just what's gonna happen next. Because we still have Shoto versus Toya. We still have Nejire, Ida, and Bakugo, if he can stomach it and handle it, handling the Nomu. We still have Midoriya, who's trying to lend a hand, even though his main methods of, fighting and getting around are pretty much kaput at this moment. Then we got Best Jeanist binding Makia. And since Makia has pretty much lost his strength, it's going to be easier for him to bind. Now, the question is, how are they going to move this man? Because this man is big. But not only that, we need to find out a little bit more about Eri and just how extensive her training was. Because for her to be able to give Muriel's powers back, that says something about how much training she's been getting and how proficient she's become. Now, mind you, when she gave Muriel his powers back, her little horn was long, but then it was shown to be short during the first page. During the first page, it showed the horn was short. So I guess the longer the horn is, and however much energy she uses, then it goes back to being small again. But at least this time, it got long, and she didn't lose control. Or it wasn't like she started to lose control like she did when Midoriya went 100% infinite full Cowling during his fight with Chisaki. So it means that she's learning to control her power a lot better. Because can you imagine if she still didn't have control over her power, and she tried to give Muriel his powers back, and she rewound him too far? So it shows that who was ever training her before this whole battle went down, whether it was Aizawa or Present Mike or whoever, most likely Aizawa, it would show that his teachings went extensively far in making sure that she had a better grip on her powers and a better understanding of it. which just raises more questions, like, just what else can she do? Because that's a very powerful quirk. Powerful enough to rewind a person to before they had a serious injury, to, in the case of, I guess, her father or her parents, rewinding them before they even existence, literally erasing them from existence. That's a powerful and scary quirk. And this little child, just this little child is slowly but surely learning to fully control it. So can you imagine her control when she gets like the age of a teenager or the age of a full-grown adult and she has a full scope of her powers? Eri's gonna be a sight to behold in terms of the hero society. That's what I'm what I'm saying. But overall, this was a great chapter, everyone. I got nothing else to say because I very much enjoyed this chapter, but I am gonna go ahead and prepare to record this next reaction for One Piece. And since I'm using a much better version of OBS, then it leads me to believe that these videos that I'm going to be giving out to you guys are going to look a lot better than they have been before. And I am looking forward to that. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. Also, before I go, I put up in the community tab a poll that's currently going, and it's going to end on pretty much the 10th itself, about whether you guys would prefer, because I'm getting Cyberpunk. I already got it pre-ordered and it's already paid off. I've had that thing paid off for literal months, so I'm going to be playing that. And I asked you guys whether you want me to do it as a stream series or as a video series. Of course, I'm going to be doing some extra videos here and there depending on what I find in the city itself, but I just put up a poll whether you guys want to see it as a stream series and video series, and currently, as of right now, stream series has like 87% of the vote, while video series has like the 13%. So it's going to keep going until the 10th, but whichever option pops up and whichever ones you guys vote for, that's what I'm going to be doing for the game when it comes out this week. Look, this week. We have gone from waiting hundreds upon hundreds of days, and we are literally only 4 days out. Imagine if Cyberpunk got delayed again. Okay, so, remember those riots not too long ago? I imagine some people would behave just like that if CG Projekt Red says, yeah, we know you were expecting it literally this week, literally 4 days away, but we found something that we need to double check, so we're gonna have to push this until next Thursday. People are going to be mad. People are going to be mad. I wouldn't blame them. But at the same time, I am looking forward to the game as a whole. So I'm not paying attention to any GameFAQs forums because there's a lot of trolls on there, a lot of people who are trying to dissuade people from, wanting to enjoy the game. There's just a lot of negativity on the PlayStation 4 Cyberpunk 2077 forums. But I'm not paying attention to it because I'm basing the game off of my experience as a whole. Now, you guys know my criteria when it comes to games. If the game is good, I will say so, and I will sing its praises. But if the game has things that are lacking and the game is bad, I will point them out. It doesn't matter what developer has done it, even if it is CG Projekt Red. If there's something wrong in the game, I'm going to let you guys know when we play through it. But that's all I got. We'll talk more about the Cyberpunk stream series I'm going to be doing when the game itself releases. So I'm looking forward to doing that for you guys at the day of launch. So with that being said, thank you everyone for coming out to see my Hero Academia read-through today. Sorry if I got a little bit off track talking about games and Cyberpunk like that, but I just wanted to let you guys know that I got a poll on my community tab if you guys want to take part in. And it's going to keep going until the 10th, but as of right now, the stream series option is what people are really voting for. So I'm just waiting until the 10th to see where it comes down to. But if it remains Steam series, then that's what we're going to be doing. But I enjoyed My Hero Academia, and I enjoyed the fact that I was able to read this for you guys. You guys don't even know. We just hit 1,600 subscribers, I want to say, day before yesterday. And slowly but surely growing. It is Every 100 milestone for this channel, 100 subscriber milestone for this channel is amazing to me because I never thought that it would get this far. But I am thankful that I'm able to entertain all of you. I really do. I love doing this. I enjoy doing this. This is where my talents lie. This is what I enjoy. This is my creative side for you guys. I enjoy entertaining you and putting a smile on your face because that is the goal of this channel whenever I do anything. So with that being said, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you happen to be a new person to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then consider subscribing because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always, later, peoples!